Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let us continue with our tafsir of Surah Aal-Imraan بحول wa quwwatih. We are on ayah number 37. قال الله تعالى فتقبلها ربها بقبول حسن وأنبتها نباتا حسنا وكفلها زكريا كلما دخل عليها زكريا المحراب وجد عندها رزقا قال يا مريم أنى لك هذا قالت هو من عند الله إن الله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. So it begins by saying فتقبلها, from the verb تقبل يتقبل تقبلا, which means to accept something. So it's similar to قبل, to accept, only تقبل is more emphatic because it uses more letters. قبول حسن, a goodly acceptance. So this means to say he made her into one of the greatest women ever to have walked on the earth. The word Rabb is also mentioned. It's a key word. It has preceded. And he says, وَأَنْبَتَهَا نَبَاتًا حَسَنًا. Anbata means to make something grow. So nabata is often used to describe how vegetation grows from the seeds. So Allah made her grow nabatan hasana, in a goodly fashion. So this means to say Allah Jalla wa Ala fashioned her perfectly. And they say that Maryam was from the most beautiful of women. Of course, her son Isa alayhi salatu wasalam was also from the most handsome of men, as the Prophet told us, as the Prophet saw him in a vision. وَكَفَّلَهَا زَكَرِيَّا. A kafil is a guardian, so let's say a legal guardian. So Allah Jalla wa Ala appointed Zakaria as her guardian, looking after her affairs. Zakaria alayhi salam, another prophet, was the husband of the sister of the mother of Maryam. So of course the mother of Maryam was the wife of Imran. She had a sister. This sister had a husband. And the husband's name was Zakaria. So simply put, he was the brother-in-law of Maryam's mother. He says every time Zakaria would enter the mihrab. What is the mihrab? It is a room dedicated for the ibadah. And it is so called as it comes from the root letters harb, meaning war, because in this room you are at war with the shaitan. Because ibadah of Allah Jalla wa Ala is essentially a war with the shaitan. He would find with her rizq. The tafsir says these are fruits. They say that he would find the fruits of the winter with her in the summer, and the summer's fruits with her in the winter, which is extremely strange. And he would ask her, Anna laki hadha. Anna meaning, how can this be? How? And she simply replies by saying, it is from Allah. It is as if these fruits were fruits of Jannah. And Allah grants His provisions, His rizq, to whomsoever He wills, without hisab. So without hisab could mean without a price. So He gives it to you for free. And we may also understand it to be without counting. So that is to say without an upper limit. And this last section may be the statement of Maryam, or it may be the statement of Allah. Both interpretations are possible. So reflecting on this ayah, we take that Allah Jalla wa Ala can answer dua of all types of people. He can even answer the dua of kuffar as well. In this ayah we learn of the fadila of Maryam, in that Allah Jalla wa Ala took care of her and treated her like a special person. We also find the lesson of cause and effect, because Allah Jalla wa Ala took care of Maryam. And how is this? He used Zakaria as the conduit or the cause for Maryam being looked after. So Allah Jalla wa Ala does things using cause and effect. Both are created by Allah. We find that Allah alone is the one who provides the rizq, as Maryam points out. And we find here that this is a miracle taking place, because we find this provision or these fruits with Maryam which are unexplained. So this is a miraculous event. Ayah number 38. هنالك دعا زكريا ربه قال رب هب لي من لدنك ذرية طيبة إنك سميع الدعاء. هنالك, there, meaning over there. This was the time when he saw these fruits miraculously with Maryam. The word hunaka, hunalika, huna meaning here, they normally refer to places, but they can also be used for times as well. So we could understand hunalika in this ayah to be at that time. So what's happening here is that Zakaria alayhi salam sees that Allah provides food to Maryam in a miraculous way. So he's thinking, if that's the case, then by analogy, Allah can also provide me with a child miraculously. And so he makes dua for a child. He says, Rabbi, my Rabb, hab. This is the order format of wahaba yahibu, to give or to gift someone. So give me min ladunka, from yourself, so a special gift from the special giver. Dhurriyatan tayyiba, a goodly progeny or a goodly offspring. So that is to say, a righteous child. He says, Innaka sami'ud du'a, you are the one who hears the dua. Of course, hears and of course answers the dua. Let's take ayah number 39. فنادته الملائكة وهو قائم يصلي في المحراب أن الله يبشرك بيحيى مصدقا بكلمة من الله وسيدا وحصورا ونبيا من الصالحين. The verb nadat is used from nada yunadi, which means to call out, as opposed to whisper. The malaika called him out, and we have spoken about this word malaika before. They called him out whilst he was qa'im, standing, yusalli, praying, fil mihrab, in the mihrab. We mentioned the word mihrab before. Now, the one calling out was Jibreel alayhi salam, but the plural is used as a ta'zim for Jibreel. Notice also the feminine version of the verb is used, nadat, because the word malaika is not a usual plural form. They call it jam'u taksir, and a jam'u taksir is applicable for both a feminine version and the masculine. So it would be permissible to say فَنَادَتْهُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ, and it would be permissible to say فَنَادَاهُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. Both are permissible. That Allah gives you glad tidings. The word is yubashiruka. It has the same root letters as bashara, because when you receive glad tidings, you are so elated and happy, the color of your skin changes. And bashara is the surface of your skin. So He gives you glad tidings of Yahya. This is the son of Zakaria, also a prophet. He said that this son of yours, Yahya, is musaddiqan bi kalimatin min Allah. He's going to be making tasdeeq, or believing in the word of Allah. The word of Allah referred to here is Isa alayhi salam. The reason why Isa alayhi salam is called the word of Allah is because Allah Jalla wa Ala spoke His existence into being by saying kun, be, and He was. Remember, Isa alayhi salam was not born in the usual fashion. His birth was a literal miracle, and it was spoken into existence. So this is why Isa alayhi salam is called the word of Allah. So Yahya alayhi salam is going to be a believer in Isa alayhi salam. And he says he's a sayyidan, which means a leader. He's going to be a leader of his people. And hasuran, hasur, it comes from hasr, which means to restrict. So this person, Yahya alayhi salam, is going to be restricting himself. What this refers to is that he will restrict himself sexually, in that he will not have sexual intercourse with women, even though he is able to do so. But he will have such self-control and composure that he will not have any sexual relations with any woman. Now, if that's the case, then perhaps this was a praiseworthy attribute in their Sharia. Of course, in our Sharia, we understand that marriage is legislated and highly encouraged. There are other interpretations for the word hasur as well. One says that he will restrict himself not from sexual intercourse in a marriage contract, but that he will restrict himself from lowly character. And it may also be said that he will restrict himself from fornication, not necessarily from marriage. And Allah knows best. And a Nabiyyan min as-Salihin, a prophet from the righteous people. And also the reason why the word Musaddiq is mansub bil-fatha, because it is a hal, and a hal is mansub. It is a hal, the state of Yahya alayhi salam, that Yahya alayhi salam will be a believer in the word of Allah, who is Isa alayhi salam. So reflecting on this ayah, we take that you make dua to Allah by calling out and saying Ya Rabb, because as we said before, only a true Rabb can possibly answer your dua. And we learn the vital lesson that it is upon the believer to ask Allah Jalla wa Ala for righteous children, because your righteous children will serve you even after your death as they make dua for you. So it is actually a type of investment. We may also take that an angel, Jibreel in this case, can speak and call out with words which can be heard and understood. In this ayah we learn of the fadila of the Prophet Yahya alayhi salam, and how Allah describes him with praiseworthy qualities. هذا والله أعلم.